Hello everyone, my name is Cameron and welcome to the All In Review. Now, again, yesterday when I did the predictions video, I did mention that I would not be watching All In, sadly, because I didn't have enough money, I had bills to pay and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sorry. This is not going to be an in-depth review like most of them are. I promise you, if I do decide to end up getting something along the lines of Honor Club or something, I will, next time I decide to do a non-WWE pay-per-view prediction, I will try my very, very best to watch it, especially if it's something along the lines of All In or something from Ring of Honor or New Japan, because it's just fantastic. But that being said, I do have highlights that I'm going to discuss on the channel. I'm going to discuss how I did on my predictions, who won each match, and so on and so forth. So, without further ado, let's get into it with the very first match. SoCal Uncensored defeated the Briscoe brothers, making me 1-0. The main reason the main reason I went for SoCal Uncensored over the Briscoe brothers is because SoCal is actually mentioned. SoCal Uncensored is mentioned a lot and featured a lot on Being the Elite. And you got to remember that a lot of the show was based off of stuff from Being the Elite, so you kind of figure, okay, SoCal Uncensored is being used a lot. There's a good chance they're winning. Next, the 19, it ended up being a 19-person over budget, over the top battle royal. Flip Gordon won by last eliminating Bully Ray, making me 1-on-1 on my predictions. I actually kind of made a joke yesterday saying, oh, it'd be hilarious if Flip showed up in like Chico El Luchador style attire and ended up winning the thing, and then he unmasked. It's like, oh my god, it's Flip. It's exactly what happened. He wore, from what I learned, he wore luchador type stuff like Rocky Romero would when he's being Chico El Luchador. Unmasked. He was in the match the whole time. He got thrown through a table by Bully Ray at the start of the show, the announce table ringside, but wasn't eliminated. And then came back in after Bully Ray had thought he won, kind of like Santino in like 2014 or whatever, or 2011. Sorry. And then he unmasked. It was Flip. Loud pop. He throws Bully Ray out, and he wins the over-the-top Battle Royal. Meaning, after months and months and months of trying, Flip Gordon is all in for the main show, and I was very happy when I saw that he won when I was looking. Because I got home, or not even when I was home, I was looking through at work. When I was at work, I checked my phone. I was like, okay, all in, all in, all in. Okay. Oh my god, Flip won. It was really cool. I'm happy that Flip won. I'm happy that he got to be in it and that it was, a big moment like that. So yeah, Flip deserves it. Good job, Flip. Congrats on winning it. Next, Matt Cross defeated MJF. Now this is a match that was not added to the show. That was like kind of last minute added to the show, or not announced at least. So there's no prediction from me. So I'm still 1-1. From what I heard, it was a very good match though. Next, Christopher Daniels defeated Stephen Amell, who had Josh Segura ringside with him. If you don't know who Josh Segura is, go watch Season 5 of Arrow. He was Prometheus. He also, Josh Segura, played on a show called Sirens, which is a really good show. It's an ambulance show based in Chicago. So it's kind of cool. I think Josh Segura might actually be from Chicago. I might be wrong, but he might be from Chicago. So that makes me 1-2. They shook hands after. I'll get more into that during the highlights part. But they shook hands after in a sign of respect. It was really cool. Next, Tessa Blanchard won the Four Corner Survival match, making me 1-3. It was kind of weird. Apparently, there was like Chelsea Green went to sort of break it up at the end. Like she kind of teased it. Didn't get there in time. A lot of people thought she did, and it was very confusing apparently. It was really cool. Tessa had her family there, her wrestling family, so I think, I would assume that means Tully Blanchard was there, as well as the rest of them. It was really cool. Chelsea Green, who, if you don't know, is dating Zack Ryder, at one point did the woo, 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 and then did like a running knee strike to somebody in the corner. I saw that on Twitter before I got home, which I thought that was really cool. It was a really cool moment. But yeah, Tessa Blanchard won. Really cool. Congrats. Cody with Brandy Rhodes, DDP, Glacier, and Tommy Dreamer, as well as I believe Pharaoh was there, defeated Nick Aldis with Jeff Jarrett. Samuel Shaw, Sean Davari, and Jim Storm. 1-4 on making me 1-4 on predictions. Not the best start, but also I've done a lot worse than this. So I mean, DDP hit a diamond cutter on Davari when Davari got in the ring after Cody took a bad shot. Like he went for a suicide dive, and Aldis like uppercutted him or gave him a forearm. And Earl Hebner, who was the referee, held up the X a lot of times. Went and told Aldis, okay, he's out. And then Davari got in the ring. DDP hit the diamond cutter. Didn't do the bang, just hit the diamond cutter, which was still kind of a cool moment. Cody with blood spurting down his face won the match, which was really cool. Becoming, I'll get more into the highlights in a minute, and we'll talk about it. Hangman Adam Page defeated Joey Janela, making me 2-4, and we'll get, again, highlights will be after this. Jay Lethal with Lanny Poffo, otherwise known as the real-life brother of Randy Savage, defeated Flip Gordon with Brandy Rhodes, otherwise known as Flip Gordon's best friend, making me 3-4. Kenny Omega defeated Penta El Zero, or Zero, however you want to say it, making me 4-4, which we'll get more into this in a minute. Kazuchika Okada defeated Marty Scurll, making me 5-4, and the Golden Elite defeated Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito, making me 5-5. All in all, I'm sorry. At the end, honestly, I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. Sounded awesome. I do still want to watch it. I did watch highlights of the main event match, the 6-man tag, Okada versus Scurll, Omega versus Pentagon, or Penta El Zero, whatever you want to call him, and Cody versus Nick Aldis. Those are the only ones I could actually find highlights of on YouTube. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there'll be lots of highlights shown during Being the Elite when it comes next Friday. All right, so after the match with Omega and Pentagon, the lights went out. So Kenny, Penta broke Kenny's right arm, which is the one he uses to cradle the neck when he's doing the one-winged angel. So he ended up doing it with his left hand, won the match. The lights went out for a really long time. A lot of people thought maybe CM Punk was coming out. Lights came back up. Pentagon still lying prone in the middle of the ring. Omega still in the corner. Then Pentagon got up. His tattoos looked different. He looked a bit bulkier. Went sprinted in the corner, attacked Omega, hit him with code breakers, and then we find out unmasked it's Chris Jericho. And it just honestly, if you can't at this point realize that Chris Jericho is probably the greatest professional wrestler, sports entertainer, whatever you want to call it, of all time, I'm sorry. You gotta realize, he flew in, got there 5:30, waited in the Young Bucks office, waiting for it. Then after that, flew out to go do a concert in Merriam, which is very far away. He went from Little Rock to Chicago to Merriam. I don't remember where Merriam's at. He said it in a video too, talking about it on his Instagram. So you realize, Chris Jericho is one of the greatest, most hardworking people in this business, and I'm very happy that the feud with them is continuing. And he announced, match on the Jericho Cruise with Omega. Marty actually got in a lot of offense, had an all-in umbrella, the ref got knocked down, he hit Okada with it, a lot of joint manipulation, hit a clothesline, got a lot of near falls on Okada, but in the end, Okada did pick up the victory, which I still think that the fact that Marty was able to prove himself and actually, being a junior heavyweight, which is a lot of the reason Okada was like, oh, I don't take you seriously, 2. He actually did that. He did that, and then while he was doing that, Marty grabbed his middle finger and did the joint manipulation stuff. It makes my skin crawl, man. But he did really well. I think Marty definitely proved himself, and proved that Okada shouldn't have just underestimated him. Cody and Dusty Rhodes are the very first father-son duo to hold the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, which is a really cool moment in and of itself. I think Dusty's looking down on Cody and smiling right now, and he's very proud of his son for the work he did and the fact that he was able to put on this show without really the backing from a professional wrestling company. This was him and his friends, and they sold out in 29 minutes, and I think that's a very Dusty Rhodes type thing to do, being able to do that sort of thing. So I'm sorry. Sorry. Every time I talk about Dusty on my channel, I start crying because I really admired Dusty Rhodes. He was one of my favorite wrestlers, and geez, every time I talk about him, I cry. All right. There was a very SummerSlam 92 finish to it, or NWA, more NWA style finish, where they did like the roll-up spot that British Bulldog and Bret Hart did, and Cody eventually ended up picking up the victory, which was really cool. There's a lot of stuff from the murder of Joey Ryan featured in the Hangman page and Joey Janela Chicago street fight. A phone, like a telephone, like the one he beat Joey Ryan to death with. And boots 1 and 2, you know, the talking boots that have been featured on Being the Elite. The boots he wore and got blood on when he killed Joey Ryan. After the match, when Hangman Page was waiting there, he got a burning hammer off of he did a burning hammer off the apron and onto a ladder. He did there's a lot of big spots, and it was just, from what I heard, it was a very brutal match. After the match, Joey Ryan showed back up with people dressed as penises, did the dick flip, and then a more like actual professional move. It's kind of like when the Undertaker does like the buried alive thing and he comes back with the Druids. It's that sort of thing, only less serious. Yeah. And it was really cool having Joey Ryan come back from the dead. I really love where this is going. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun very soon. Joey's hot wife can no longer has to mourn. Before the match, Jay Lethal got turned back into Black Machismo by the one, the only Lanny Poffo. Had the full gear and music, carried Brandy around like she was Miss Elizabeth at Mania. Flip did a lot of Hulk Hogan type stuff, the hits and the you stuff, and it's kind of weird. Then there was another similar chop to Jay's arm. And then he turned back to himself. He hit Lethal Injection, and he won the match. Then Bully Ray came out, beat down Flip, and then local hero Colt Cabana, go Colt, who got eliminated by Bully Ray. That was the guy Bully Ray eliminated and thought he won with, was Colt Cabana. Before Flip eliminated him, Colt Cabana came out, they all beat him down, and then they put Bully Ray through a table. Flip, Jay, and Colt, which was really cool. Again, like I mentioned, the handshake between Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell. Kenny's leg was already mentioned, all that. Mysterio was in Wolverine-type gear. There was a lot of flippy shit, lots of crazy fast and high spots like normal with a Young Bucks match. Meltzer Driver was hit to finish it off. Apparently, the main event got rushed because of the time constraints. They made it through with like 3 seconds to spare. They even, when it went off the air, they even talked about that. They're like, we made it through with 3 seconds to spare because it was apparently supposed to be a 20-minute match, and it got shortened down to 10 minutes, and they still got everything that they planned to get done in 10 minutes. That's kind of one of the things I hate about, the way that this is kind of the reason I'm glad I didn't watch this, because I probably would have gotten pissed about that. Because Fight TV didn't care. If they went over the time constraint, it was over. Luckily, the match finished before that happened, but it went off the air without like a big send-off or anything. But after it went off the air, Cody, Kenny, Brandy got called out. They teased an all-in 2 type thing, with everyone there, and they thanked everyone for putting on an amazing show and all the work they did. Honestly, I'm a little upset I didn't get to watch it, but watching the highlights, and I'm sure Being the Elite will mention a huge breakdown of it and all that. Congrats to Cody, the Bucks, Coda, Kenny, Marty, the entirety of the Bullet Club, Flip, everyone who was there, who got to be a part of that, everyone who worked so hard to make it what it is. You guys did something fantastic. They got a lot of praise from a lot of people, including Daniel Bryan, Dustin Rhodes, aka Gold Dust. Honestly, they did fantastic work. All In shattered everyone's expectations, I think. And I'm very upset that I didn't get to watch it. Hopefully at some point I will. Stay golden. Peace.